All right, hello, my wonderful students. This is Foldable 5 of section 6.4, Writing Expressions in Simplest Form. So for this one, we're going to kind of just be manipulating these expressions and kind of just like making them as clean as possible in their simplest of forms as possible. So the first things first, whenever you have an expression in parentheses to a power. Remember, this is going to multiply to each of the expressions. So this one is actually going to be started in blue. We're going to have -8. And we'll do this part. Well, let's just separate all the three that we have. X and radical x to the y, or radical xy. And this is going to be gone to each of these. So we're going to have to the 2/3 here, to the 2/3 here, and to the 2/3 here as well. So I'm going to put this in brackets just in case you don't think we're only doing to the y. That being said, we can go ahead and work these out. Once again, I know this one, we can do a little side note here. A little side note that our -8 is equal to -2 cubed. So we're going to go ahead and use that. So we have our blue again. We have our -2 cubed to the 2/3 power. Once again, we have a power to the 3, but we're going to get to that. X to the 2/3. And then once again, we can rewrite this as xy to the 1/2. And then put the bracket over again, or we can just multiply it by 2/3 because that's what we have. All right, now we can go ahead and do this. So this would be 3/1. So this would be -2 to the 3/1 times 2/3. Then we have x to the 2/3, doesn't change. Then we have xy, 1 times, well, these simplify here. So this would be 1 and 1. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 3 is 3. So xy, still in parentheses, to the 1/3 power. These would also simplify here, leaving us just with -2 to the 2/1, which is just 2. So this would be -2 to the 2 power times x to the 2/3 power times, I think still in parentheses, I'm going to separate it. X to the 1/3, so I'm going to distribute this here, and then this here, to the y to the 1/3. That way I can combine these here. So that means I'm just going to add those there. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to have -2 squared, which we know is 4, but we'll do that after. And then we have x to the 2/3 plus 1/3. Combine these two, times y to the 1/3. So we're going to have -2 squared is 4. And then 2/3 plus 1/3 is going to be x to the 3/3, which is just x to the 1, which is just x, to the y to the 1/3, which is going to be equal to 4x square root, or sorry, cube root, because it has the nth root of 3 of y. And this was, I know there's a lot of steps that went into this one. That's why I kind of did each step in a different color, so you can kind of differentiate what I did. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, which isn't quite as much work, but it's still just as much fun. All right, so we have the first one here, which is our 16y to the -8 power. We're going to go ahead and distribute this -3/4 power to both of them. So we have our 16 and our y to -8, and they're both going to be raised to the -3/4 power, as well as this one to -3/4 power. Oh, excuse me. We are dealing with fourths, and luckily for us, I know, or I should say we know, because I know you guys know as well, that 16 is actually equal to 2 to the 4th power because of one of the cheat sheets that we had. So I know I can rewrite this one as, let's do black, let's do black. Let's do 2 to the 4th power to the negative 3/4 power. Once again, we have a power and a root all in the same thing that are the same number, which is going to be good because it'll simplify out. And this is going to be multiplied by y. Excuse me. And what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to multiply across. So I have, make this over 1. And I'm going to have negative 8 times negative 3 would be 24 to the 4th power, which divides out, which is perfect for us. We're going to go ahead and switch to blue. And we have, remember we're going to put this over 1. Now it's going to be 4 times negative 3 would be 2 to the negative 12 over 4 times y to the 24 divided by 4, which is going to be 6. We're going to make this here, negative 12 times 4 is going to be 2 to the negative 3 power y to the 6th. The negative is going to go to the denominator, so the next row here is going to equal, we'll do it in green, it's going to be equal to y to the 6th over 2 to the 3rd power. And once we do that, this is going to be, because we just put, the denominator to make that positive. Once we do the 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, we'll be able to see that this goes to y to the 6th over 8. This will be our final answer.